What's up, party people? My name is Norman, and I am a self-taught developer. I knew nothing about programming and taught myself everything using online tools. I managed to weasel my way into a bank, which they looked at my skills, and with enough projects, they figured they'd give me a shot. So I'm going to show you how to learn how to code fast. And when I say fast, I mean, within like 6 to 8 months, which, if you think about it, is really not that long of a time to learn a skill that is so marketable and where the salaries end up being so high. So, why programming? Well, the obvious thing is job security. If you're working at a big tech company, in general, your job is pretty safe compared to if you were doing like an admin role that is easily replaceable. There's not that many people who are good at tech, and whoops, sorry about that. And you can learn this stuff with the right resources and with the right guidance. The next thing is, and this is the most important thing for me, is you build something from nothing. It's extremely empowering to have a blank page and turn that into an app that retrieves a bunch of information from online sources and displays them in a pretty way on a web browser. There's a feeling that comes with it that just makes you feel so good. Anyone can do it, and I'm serious. Like, you just need patience and dedication and hard work, and you can do it too. And to be honest, I find it really fun. I think that it's like solving a bunch of puzzles, and I've always been fond of problem solving, so I find it fun. You might not find it fun, but if you don't find it at least enjoyable, then maybe it's not for you, and that's okay. So here are some marketable programming languages. So you have your standard web development stack. So HTML, so how to render things on pages, CSS for to make those rendered things more pretty, and then JavaScript, which basically allows you to play with the elements that you create using the HTML page and do some actual programming with it. Um, so there's different kinds of stacks. There's like the mean stack, which we can get into later. But don't worry about that for now. For now, the web development stack that is standard, and pretty much every web developer knows these languages. And then you can move on to a more serious programming language. And what I recommend is Python. So it's the go-to for tons of developers out there, and it's really no joke. You can use it to extend data science. A lot of scientists are now moving away from things like MATLAB and are moving to Python because they're realizing that it's just better. And you can build an entire app from front to end with it, like from you know start to finish straight in Python, and that's really powerful. And the best part is it's easy to learn. It's a lot like writing the English language. To be honest, JavaScript is more complicated than Python. And I say complicated, it's a little confusing at first because you got to get used to some notation. But Python is very English, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so how do you get started? Let me show you. So you want to come here to freecodecamp.org. And I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just really, really love these guys. I think they're freaking awesome. What you get to do is you get to learn to code, right? There's a interactive portal where you'll type in some code, and then you'll see the result right away on their interpreter. And we'll make a free account, and I'll show you exactly what this means. So let's just have a look at this website, right? You can see tons of people, not just these three. I know personally people who have done this and gotten jobs from it, right? So what you do is you learn some skills. They partner with non-for-profit organizations. So for example, curriculum, whoops, no, that's not the right section, sorry. Um, You partner with, or they partner with a bunch of nonprofits. You help them with their programming needs. You build up your portfolio, build up your GitHub profile, which is where all of the code that you write should be stored. And then you can present that to employers. And that's really, really powerful because that's actual work experience. Like when you help a nonprofit and they give you a reference, that's work experience. So it might not be paid work experience, but you're still learning a skill and you're helping out nonprofits to elevate yourself to the point where you can get a job with this. So why don't we go ahead and make an account? So continue with email. Put it they're going to give you a short code. Oh, what is happening? Let me do this on another screen, guys. Sorry about this. Something is really wrong. What? Okay, you know what? I'm going to log in to, because let's try that again. Continue with email. Sign in. Either way, it's not, difficult to do this. I'm just going to do this. Okay, so let's have a look at the actual interface where you do the programming. So check this out. You've got a description here, right? They tell you what to do. They tell you how to write stuff. This is an intro to HTML. And then you write down your code here, and it gets interpreted right here, which is really, really cool because if you just took a course and you were reading, the slides that people do or just the videos, you won't learn very much because you're not actually applying those skills and being tested here to move on to things that actually make you solve the problem. And that's how you learn programming. You actually get challenged, you solve problems, you test things, and then move on to the next thing. So why don't we have a look at the full curriculum? So you've got HTML, which is, like I said, how how things get rendered on a page. So for example, if you right click, you hit inspect. All this here is HTML code. So this is how pages get rendered on the web. So you'll get to learn how to render pages on the web, make mobile pages, make things responsive, make things really pretty. It's a nice intro if you know nothing about programming. So then CSS is basically adding more things to make things pretty. I'd say HTML and CSS go hand in hand. Like you can't really learn HTML without CSS because otherwise you just have a really ugly page that just isn't pretty. There's no markup, no nothing. So all of this is HTML and CSS. Oh, sorry, all of this. So responsive web design certification, right? So you'll be able to make a responsive page that can pop up on a web page or on people's mobile phones and stuff like that. The next part is where you're actually learning programming. So you've got basic JavaScript. And here's the thing about the responsive web design. I know it says 300 hours. It probably won't take you 300 hours. This one will. This one definitely will. And I mean, let's break down So 300 hours. Let's say you did 3 hours a day, 100 days, right? 100 days, that's 3 months. So 3 months here, 3 months here, and you've pretty much learned the basics of programming. Like this stuff is more advanced. Like you can use it, right? Like this is more advanced. This is a little more advanced. API microservices, right? So this is more back-end stuff. So when I say 6 months, you'll be able to learn from the top all the way down to here, which honestly is enough to start going out there and networking. Because I did it and I got a job. So it's probably a good idea to do everything because they even give you an interview prep here, which is wonderful. So why don't we have a look at this JavaScript section? So this is where you're actually doing programming. So see, there's var, which stands for variable. This is the variable name. And then you get to do a bunch of crap here, like, so right here, they say use the var to create they will call our name. So you'll say var my name, and then you click on run the tests. Look at that. You get to move on. So this is really, really cool because you get to actually program, test out your skills, and learn stuff. And trust me, guys, it's not hard. Like it takes work, it takes patience, but it makes sense. Like it just follows basic logic. And if you're okay with that, then this is the way to go. What I recommend and what I did is there are local chapters of Free Code Camp in pretty much every big city. So check this out. So I was posting here. So it led me to go to a hackathon where they gave you a bunch of free food. Woo! So, hey, learn programming, get free food. So, now I'm joking, but this is really cool because everyone here is awesome, right? So everybody here is there for the same reason. They want to up their skills and change careers or whatever. And, people share like talks and things that you can go to just sort of get your feet wet. So that's the basic web stack where you can learn. So the next part is learning Python. Shoot, what was the website again? Learn Python. Come on, interpreter. I think it was this one. No, it wasn't this one. Oops. Oh, it was Data Camp. Sorry, it was Data Camp. Data Camp. So go to Data Camp. They have a Python course, Intro to Python, and they do it the same way as Free Code Camp. So you'll go in, you'll start the course. This one's 4 hours. They have a bunch of like intermediate courses too. So you'll start by doing like mathy kind of stuff with Python, which is very useful. So you'll start the course. I'm not going to do this in the interest. I don't want to give this video too long, but that's basically how you learn. You just stick to those two things. You start with this, start with Free Code Camp, do those three, the part of the curriculum I showed you. So responsive web design, JavaScript algorithms, and then front-end library certification. These three things, you're good to go. These other parts are really, really good. And you should do them, but I would start by doing these three and then going into Python and then just starting out projects. You can do all this, so APIs and stuff like that. But again, it's important that you have one of these like powerful programming languages under your belt and you start working on projects. Now, let's have a look at developer salaries. So Stack Overflow is basically where a lot of programming questions get asked. So let's just look at one of these questions, right? Let's not worry too much about what the hell this means, right? JS authorization, apt-get, blah, blah, who cares, right? This is what I wanted to show you. Inside here, you'll have usually like jobs and stuff. And so this is not really a good one. Let's look at another question. And you'll get used to Stack Overflow because you'll be Googling stuff and finding out what to do. So let me Google something. How to set variable Python. That's not complicated enough for Stack Overflow. Shoot. Stack Overflow Python data object. There we go. See? Look at the salary range. And you'll notice on the side here, like where you go to ask your questions, there's usually something like this. And this is standard, right? Like developers that know front end, back end, and stuff like that, they make around this range. So, and this is a senior, of course. Juniors would probably start off at like 70-ish. But this just goes to show you that there are a lot of opportunities out there if you just apply yourself and you're willing to put in the work. So I hope this video was useful. Let me know if you have any questions or whatever. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.